Shalom everybody, it's Kalila Kelly, your Irish Jew. This video is basically about why I consider myself to be an Irish nationalist. I just want to play you this clip that we've seen here. Irish nationalists block Islamic parade in Dublin. Let's have a look.
And whose country is this? So you will not come here and dominate and walk and disrespect us in our churches, in our national monuments. You will respect the Irish people, or we will make you respect us.
This is called the Irish temper. I don't know if you guys know about it. It's the Celtic temper and it's freaking awesome. It's the banshee let loose. That woman is a banshee. Look at her. God bless her. God bless her and all of the Irish patriots. Yeah, so basically Ireland is being part of this concerted effort by whoever the crap controls Europe at this point, WEF, EU, who knows. But it's subject to the same absolute bullshit mass migration, illegal migration that is taking place across Europe and throughout Europe from fighting age men from Africa and the Middle East, and even as far as China sometimes. Anyway, there is 3 reasons why I am an Irish nationalist and why I absolutely support the nationalists in Ireland, whatever of their ilk, not violent of course, but any Irish person that stands up and says this to immigration, this is why they are right. Number 1, Ireland is not and has never been a colonising country. Ireland has never gone around in its history and invaded a country and colonised it and taken its resources and subjugated its people to bring back to the Irish nation. Never. It's never happened in history. If it has, please let me know in the comment section. It hasn't. Yeah? So Ireland, unlike England, unlike France, unlike even Germany, these countries that are so obsessed with letting people from Africa into their countries, for example, Ireland has never been part of that ilk that has gone and subjugated others. Therefore, Ireland does not owe any guilt. Ireland has no guilt, no blood on its hands when it comes to colonisation. Therefore, Ireland should not and must not be subjected to the same guilt-ridden reflex of the modern Europeans to let in any person of colour under the claim that they are refugees and making up for all that bad colonisation. England's guilt is not Ireland's guilt. France's guilt, France is a huge coloniser. Oh my God, do you know how much of Africa they colonised? France's guilt and sin is not Ireland's guilt. Holland, the Dutch, their guilt, the Spanish, their guilt, not our guilt, not Irish guilt. We are not the same. We're not remotely the same, historically speaking. So piss off with all of this migration rhetoric and this bullshit idea that Ireland must become this patchwork community and this patchwork society just because England feels that it's a bit embarrassed about its colonising past and wants to make amends by importing every single person from every other country instead of its own culture. That's an English thing, yeah? You keep that to yourself, England. You've got enough problems as it is. You're going downhill. Great, you do that. Mazel tov. Leave the Irish alone. The second reason I'm an Irish nationalist is that the very fact that modern people throughout the West, the very fact that they say, oh, well, Ireland should take in lots of illegal migrants too, and refugees and immigrants and so on and so on. Most of them aren't refugees, but Ireland should also take them in too, because Ireland is like us. Ireland is like England and Europe and the continent and America and Australia. Ireland should do what we are doing because we're all the same. That's racist. That's racist. You are looking at a country that is predominantly and has always predominantly been white, and you're saying, oh, well, therefore you must be guilty too of colonisation, and therefore you should also pay the price and pay back the karma and let all these people of colour come into your country and change your culture. That's racist. You are assuming that just because Irish people have white skin, that they are colonisers and therefore they have to take part in this bullshit migration fiasco that's taking place. That's racist. It's racist because it claims that white people can never suffer under colonization, and white people have never been enslaved. Anyone who knows Irish history knows that that's not the case. Ireland was colonized and subjugated by the English. Brutally. You want to talk about colonization? The Brits did it to their own people first, to their poor, and then they did it over to the Irish, as well as the Scots and everyone else. So claiming that Ireland is historically the same as the other colonizers is grotesquely racist. It's not. White people can be colonized too, and the Irish are an example of that. And that's one of the reasons a lot of left-wing students at university, for example, love to go, oh, yeah, I'm white, but I'm not English. I'm Irish. Because they know Irish people can claim the victim status of, well, we were colonized. And it's effing true. That's true, right? So the Irish don't owe anybody anything. The Irish themselves were colonized. So quite frankly, if anyone should be getting reparations, it's Ireland. You're very welcome. And the third reason I'm an Irish nationalist is I want Irish heritage and culture to remain intact. I do not want it to become this beige replica of what is happening in the United Kingdom. I was watching a crime show that was set in Wales the other night, and I swear to God, most of the cast looked like they could have been transplanted from Paris. We had a lot of black people in the cast. Again, I don't give a shit if you're black or white. I'm making a point about the mental politics that are going on in the casting systems from these woke departments across Britain, who are then pushing their wokery, pushing their guilt, and pushing their idea of creativity and diversity onto other nations like Ireland. Their idea of diversity is to have lots of black people, lots of African descended people. Apparently that's diversity. Ironically, there are no Muslims in shows anymore. I don't know if you've noticed. There are no Irish, there are no Scots. Pretty much. It's literally, but everyone's like black, right? Again, that is coming from the colonization and from the imperialism of the United States, where the US had to deal with its own guilt issues around its past, right? And its lynchings and its Jim Crow stuff and its slavery. Yeah, that all kicked off with the gentleman Floyd, George Floyd. And that whole movement, that's an American thing. That's an American guilt system that American culture has put onto the UK, and then the UK is trying to put it onto every other country around it, including Ireland. It's just a cultural example. Again, I don't care if you're black or white. I'm making a point about the woke ideology that is infesting the creative arts and is now impacting and trying to force itself on the Irish culture. So, when I watch TV shows that are set in Ireland or in Wales or in Scotland or in England, and every single group of people look exactly the same as if they were plucked out of London, that is English imperialism. That is English colonialism, again, on Irish culture. I think Irish culture should remain intact. I think it should be isolated and self-contained. Yes, everybody is welcome if you are part of the culture, regardless of your skin colour. This is not about race. This is about culture. And Ireland has the right to retain its ancient culture. In the past, when most of Europe was falling into the Dark Ages, it was Ireland, with its monastery system, that kept the Bible intact, that kept literature intact, and kept knowledge intact. The Irish and the Jews, you're welcome. So, absolutely, the Irish deserve to retain their culture in the same way that China retains its culture. Japan retains its culture. Tell me of a single white person or black person that has moved to Japan and then become Japanese. They don't. They are never, ever accepted as part of that culture. Japanese culture is Japanese. Korean culture is Korean. Thai culture is Thai. Irish culture is Irish. Now, whatever America and the Australia want to do, for example, they are multi-ethnic. They are diverse. They are new countries, right? But Ireland is an ancient culture and an ancient country, and it deserves to keep itself as such, and it doesn't owe an explanation to anybody, least of all the British. So I absolutely think it's fantastic that these Irish nationalists are blocking parades by Islamists in Dublin. I don't want another Islamist country. Again, I'm not talking about individual Muslims. I'm not talking about people who follow Islam. I'm talking about this concerted effort. Also, you want to talk about colonialism? Let's talk about the Arab colonization of the entire Middle East and half of Africa and then parts of Asia. Let's talk about that. And now what's happening throughout Europe. Islamist colonization that's taking place right now. Again, if you think I'm speaking crap, you are not keeping up with what's happening. Yeah. The Irish, we can get emotional. We can get very angry. We have tempers. And we are not like the Brits. We don't just sit quietly and politely. We fight back. That's why a lot of the best fighters in the world, particularly boxers, are Irish or of Irish descent, particularly Irish women. We just don't have time for this bullshit. We don't. We're a bit angry, a bit uppity, and I think that's fabulous. I think anger is exactly the emotion that's called for right now for what is happening across the Middle East. It's completely disgraceful and outrageous. And I don't think any Islamists belong in Ireland. Go back to whatever country, go back to whatever country you first came from and celebrate your Islamism there. Celebrate your obsession with conquering the world and turning everything into the House of Islam. Celebrate that back where you came from. Leave Ireland alone. It's had enough. It's gone through enough terrible history. It's gone through enough abuse and colonization. The Irish culture was nearly decimated when the English forbid the language, forbid certain stories being told, forbid certain ceremonies, had a go at Catholicism. Ireland has been through enough. It does not need any more. It certainly does not need a group of Islamists who've basically destroyed London and are destroying parts of the UK. It certainly does not need them to now come and destroy the beautiful, green, fresh, wild country that is Irish. And it is a Christian nation. It's a Catholic nation. That is its culture. That is its culture. Ireland for the Irish, retain Irish culture, no Islamism. And if you have a problem with that, go and live in Londonistan. Go and live in Paris. Go and live in Riyadh. Go and live in Manila. Go and live in Indonesia, Jakarta. Go and live in Sudan. Go and live in Turkey. Yeah? Just do your thing in your own Islamist countries. You don't need to bring it to Ireland. Thank you so much. Bye.